This program is brought to you by Simulus Clothing, official title sponsors of Formula Virtual Racing. But wait, there's more. Check out the official Formula Virtual Racing merchandise line out now exclusively to Simulus Clothing. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the program. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Formula Virtual Racing. It's been a bit of a break since we had the last F1 race. We had a very successful 4 hours, apologies, of Le Mans endeavour a couple of weeks ago, but we're back with some high-speed single-seater action. Speaking of that Le Mans race, we had a team that was rather up and down across the course of the race. This man was speaking to us during that race. He was driving that race. It's Mr. Kyle Davison who's alongside me for this evening. Kyle, how are you keeping?
Oh, I am doing well, Evan, and I'm very excited for the start of the season. We've got loads of cool people in this lobby right now. We've got Legend Rosenberg returning to the grid, which is a scary one. Of course, we've got Vesta Gabadi and Luke Davies, the champion of last season. So I can't wait to get ready and watch the action unfold here in Sao Paulo.
Yeah, we've got a great grid here this evening for you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm hoping, personally, it lasts for the full season. Am I confident of it? No, I'd be lying if I said I was, but I am hoping that we can have a really, really good race here this evening, ladies and gentlemen. We've got some new drivers on the grid. They are sort of not popular because we don't have that many new drivers on the grid, but we do have a lot of returning legends, which is interesting. One of those returning legends being a man whose name sounds similar, Legend Rosenberg, three-time Formula Virtual Racing champion. He could not handle seeing Luke Davies win a championship, seemingly. He came back and he wants to take his crown back. We do have Lewis McWilliam as well, of course. He's not here this evening, but he will be here. He is off doing Lewis McWilliam things. But we start the season here at the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache. We were, of course, supposed to end last season here, but it got cancelled due to poor attendance. So we have decided that it is a fitting opener for this season. Now, in terms of the race, obviously it's going to be a fantastic race, but there is an added surprise put into it. We're going to have some rain throughout the duration of the race, seemingly, which makes things very intriguing indeed. But in terms of the grid, some of the returning legends, we have Legend Rosenberg, we have Tyler Davison, who's in the main driver role for the first time in Yonks. We have Jack Redmond, another Formula Virtual Racing champion return. Brother of the man sat beside me also signed up as a reserve, Sam Davison, so we hope to have him back in the foreseeable. But his brother's got the PlayStation this evening, so thankfully we'll have some beautiful Dutch co-commentary. But here's your first man across the start-finish line to set a lap. It's going to be Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, who goes with a 1:08.9. Luke Davies is on a timed run, as is Enzo King. Tim Denhyer just getting his qualifying endeavour underway. Liam Houseman also, as is Avesta Copati. We're all just starting laps. There is last season's who won the Clean Driver Award. Wang Fei Anderson goes up to first position. But this is going to be a real interesting race, I feel. Is it going to be very simple, or could this be a little bit chaotic, Kyle? He's back.
Oh, Jesus Christ, yeah, he is back.
He's
that
back.
is almost a 1 second gap there between him and... Dar FIFA there is also... Thomas Main is it, I believe, who's quite close now as well. Talking about a chaotic race, yes, this is going to be a chaotic race. I think it's going to be a really interesting one from the start, honestly. You've got the weather, you've got the circuit, of course, being tricky on itself, but when the weather hits, it's going to be strategies all over the place, alongside with, of course, the tricky track. So I think this is going to be a really interesting season opener, as well as with a full grid. It's only going to be chaos all around. But hey, that's what we're here for, aren't we?
And Legend Rosenberg has won the Brazilian... No, I'm really messing, but that's an unbelievable... Oh, we've someone close. Avesta Copati. Actually, that's Wang Fei Anderson, who's actually out of the session. He's had a crash. Well, look at Matthew Stuck. Oh, he's hit the wall. He has hit the wall, and there is some damage there. So Wang Fei Anderson, after sending a good initial lap, is out of qualifying for the Brazilian Grand Prix. That is really, really unfortunate for him. But it is Rosenberg, who is top of the times. Then it is Avesta Copati, and that's Penguru, who is out of the session. Oh, no, he's a qualifying suspension. Apologies. Him and Morris Stumer both won't be taking part in qualifying. They do have qualifying suspensions, so that is why Yaffin is out of the session. But it is Rosenberg, Gobadi, then it is Thomas Main and Luke Davies. Then it is two of our returning legends. Both have a championship between them. Actually, Jack has two, technically, because Constructors standings, and Tyler has one, which is Constructors standings. But it is Tyler Davison and Jack Redmond, then Enzo King. Then Wang Fei Anderson, who of course we saw crashed out of the race, heading towards the Arqueben Catas. Then it is Rick de Bray, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, Tim Denhyer, Borbune and Adrian Tishy. Slight change for this season, you may have noticed. We're on the air 30 minutes later. Another thing that you might not have noticed is there's 2 more points for a race win. So race wins are further rewarded this season compared to the 2 previous. So 2 extra points could be quite crucial come the end of a championship, especially if it's as close as we've seen in previous seasons, because of course there was discussions come the end of last season that wins weren't rewarded enough, so we've decided to fix that because we're all about innovation here at Formula Virtual Racing. But neither of the 2 Aston Martins have set laps. However, Carl Dolger, Purple Sector 1, tracking well.
I was about to say, as that Alpine goes out of the way too late there, that can be distracting. I don't think he has been distracted here as he, well, flawlessly goes through these corners. As I've noticed, the speed on these cars through these corners is insane. On it's such a fast track, really. Something you wouldn't expect when you see these corners is how fast these cars go through them. I've done an endurance race in here in the LMP1 car, and it definitely is a bit slower now that I'm watching, and it's a second sector fastest as well.
This is not a bad lap from Candover. I also tried to qualify for that same endurance race. LMP1s around this track are disgustingly bad. Here comes Callum Dolger. What can the rookie of the season do from season 10 across the start-finish line? Oh, it's only 7th. So it could have been a bit of false hope, potentially, in those purple sectors. But Callum Dolger goes to 7th. Not a bad job. Still within a second of the mighty, mighty legend Rosenberg, who has won, or has, I don't think he has actually won the Brazilian Grand Prix, come to think of it. Yeah, I think he has, because we sort of used to do it at the start of the season, then it was the middle of the season, then it was the season end, and usually Legend wraps up the title before the season ends. But, of course, this was home to the championship battle between Luke Davies and Lewis McWilliam back in Season 9, which McWilliam won. Then Luke Davies, of course, won his championship last season in Saudi Arabia. Season finale for this season is Abu Dhabi. So hopefully it's not as controversial as some other endeavours around Abu Dhabi, otherwise that could get a bit tricky for me and the stewards. And so yeah, just hoping on that regard. 10 minutes and 30 to go here in qualifying for the first race of the season. You can certainly overtake in Brazil. So qualifying is not as important as your Monacos, your Singapores of the world. There's Thomas Maynor, Mercedes, has to get out of the way ASAP. That's Liam Houseman, who's got out of the way there. But Thomas Main was not improving as much as he would have liked him in the first sector. Although Legend is the tipped favourite here for pole position, Kyle, is the race going to be a little bit more difficult because of how powerful DRS is here?
Yes, definitely. Long straights, long areas with DRS, and also again the rain will come, so strategy will take play, and 20 cars on the grid as well. It's gonna really result in some interesting results here. And of course, let's be real here, Avesta's not that far behind. He's only 2/10 behind, even less than 2/10. Now that I come to think of it, as Legend is setting a lap right now, he's flying through Sector 2 again. I think he's come back exactly, or sorry, he picked it up where he left it off basically, but I think it's not going to be a walk in the park today. Returning Legends, new weather, maybe even a new result here. I might go for Luke Davies actually.
Optimistic. And there is Luke Davies actually starting his lap. Not Kyle Davis, he's not on a lap, he's commentating. Thomas Main finished his lap and managed to improve by a 10th of a second. Wasn't enough for a position. Here's Luke Davies, has the door open for him. Oh my goodness me, 107.5 for Legend Rosenberg in his second attempt. There was an improvement from Matthew Stotts, who went to 8th position. We're going to get more cars across the checker soon. Here comes Julian Gassner, who's not going to be able to complete his lap. He pulls into the pit lane. Keep an eye on Liam Houseman as well. What's Luke doing in this middle sector? Let's take a look at him. He's got an Alfa Romeo in front of him. That is the Alfa Romeo Jack Redmond, the only one remaining in the session here at the time being. Of course, that is because Yafan Panguru does have a qualifying suspension, as well as Morris Stumer. So they'll be starting from 19th and 20th, or 18th and 20th, if Liam Houseman cannot get a lap in. Very nice middle sector from Lightning Luke Davies. He's improving by almost 0.2 of a second. Is there a front row potentially on the cards here if he can find more time through Yunsao into the Arquiban Catas? There is an improvement from Tyler Davison, bit more like him. That goes third. Here comes Luke Davies across the checker. Where's he going to go? It's got to be third. Manages to pip Davison, and then it is a third position for him. Yeah, apologies there, where I did realise I made the mistake when I said Julian. It is, of course, Julius Gassner. So, yeah, apologies for that one. But let's see what Legend can do, as that's actually Matthew Stotts, who's crashed on the entrance to the pit lane. Let's try go on board with that Haas. Has he crashed into the pit wall? No, he hasn't. That's a really weird collision. As we do see Timden Hire heading on his run. Let's see if Avesta Gobadi is, no, he's actually backed off on his lap, so he won't be setting any purple sectors. But for the time being, oh, Liam Houseman has gone now, mind you, what I was going to say. For the time being, it's looking like this is going to be the Dutch man's day in terms of Legend Rosenberg. Of course, he's teammates with this man, fellow Dutchman, Timden Hire. Another Dutchman, Kyle Davis. Are you going to be rooting for the Dutch team this season?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm Dutch all the way through. Of course, also, realistically looking at it, Legend's already on another level. You can see Avesta, Luke, and Tyler are all really compact together, and then there's just Legend that's 2 or 3 tenths faster than them. So yeah, from a realistic standpoint, definitely. From my standpoint as a Dutchman, I have to. I'm like forced by law basically to support these guys throughout the season.
Of course, we have many Dutch drivers. We went through a little bit of a phase where we didn't have that many Dutch drivers, but we have Legend, we have Liam, we have Leroy, and we have Bob Hughes. We have the 4. We also have a handful of Germans, I should say now. We have Stumer, we have Panguru, we have Julius Gassner, and then we have Niels Hartl, who's actually gone to 11th. Wasn't on that lap, but is in 11th for Scuderia Ferrari. He's teammates with Lewis McWilliam for this season. Lewis decided that he is going to see if he has Ferrari DNA in him, and he's going to try and win a championship for the Scuderia. That's optimistic for Lewis. As we see Count Olger round, and somehow still in the session. He spun for the NRSs, and it was almost a double DNF for Aston Martin in qualifying, but Dolger has got away with it. He'll be able to get back to the pit lane. It's a short lap round here. That was sketchy time for Count Dolger. How easy is it to make a mistake around here, Carl?
Very easy. well, for me it's even easier, but for these guys as well, it's a really fast track, and these corners can catch you by surprise very easily. As you can see, Kane Doger here lost his front wing in turn 1, which looks easy, but actually is a corner where your car tends to slip away as you put in more throttle. These cars just tend to lose the grip all of a sudden, so it's really hard to keep the car on the track around here. Other thing to note here is that this is also a track where it can mentally drain you in the well, basically in the sense of Kane Doger now is going to be careful through the next corner most likely. At least I would, which makes the lap a little bit slower for him. So yeah, it's a really hard track to get right and get consistently right.
Yeah, very good point there about how it mentally drains you. It is, of course, a 36-lap race, which, dare I say, is the no, Monaco is 39, but it is one of the longest, and you've got to be so consistent around Brazil to get a good result here. It is very, very tricky to do so. You're going to want to nail every lap as much as possible, and safety cars are certainly possible, especially when you get 20 mad lads who are going for good results at the start of the season. It's more likely than not going to result in a handful of safety cars. We're looking at the current pole sitter. I was about to say the current world champion. He's not, of course, but there's not really been a season in recent time where he's not been the current world champion. Down on his time, however, is Legend Rosenberg. Is he going to pit here? If he pits, he can get back out. If he doesn't, might be pushing it a little bit. So does he feel he has something in this lap come the end of it? No, going to dive into the pit lane. It's probably on an old set of tyres, mind you, and that's probably going to explain why Legend Rosenberg was not actually improving. Thomas Main is on an outlap. If you do use one set of old tyres, or you went for the softer choice, you can get 4 laps in around here. Other circuits, you get 3. Sometimes not even 3 in the likes of Spa, but Thomas Main, I think he's going to head back to the pit lane. Currently second is Thomas Main, so he has actually improved, and we missed that. Apologies to the Belgian. He's going to come into the pit lane now, and he'll get one more bite of the cherry. It's almost like a Season 4 race, this. Legend leading from Thomas, leading from Vesta, and then we have Tyler Davison and Jack Redmond also in the top 6.
I was about to say loads of people from the old times, from the times where Sam was a risk to people. Basically, it's really nice to see. Oh God, Ricky's been disqualified for blocking the pit lane there. Oh, and that is a.
I'm not actually sure that's fair.
I don't think it's fair, but Thomas does wonders with these things, so it's probably some.
Avesta seemingly got blocked on one of his laps. He actually asked me to ask from my POV, so seemingly I blocked him on his lap. I've got to assume he meant someone else's. Oh, Redmond! Oh, Jack! Oh, Jack was improving by 3.5 tenths of a second. Has a huge snap heading out of Yunsao. Very reminiscent of that one Alex Albon had in 2019. I think it was an FP2. Oh, that's unlucky for Jack. I don't think he would have got a position from it, but certainly he would have left himself more comfortable come the end of the day. It's great to have so many old drivers back, however, but old or new, they're all battling for one thing. That's pole position. Here comes Tyler Davison heading into the Senna S's. Race winner last season, of course, despite being a reserve. He won the Dutch Grand Prix at Zandvoort, but now he's got to tackle a different task. It's the 4.309 kilometre Autodromo Jose Carlos Pachi, and he's not done too bad a job of the first sector, but could do it finding a little bit more time across the board here. Bit of a wobble heading through the Decido de Lago up towards Ferradura now, which is the uphill right-hander. Very tricky corner. Bit of lag on board Tyler's car in there, so that's going to be... Why? Oh, he's been blocked by a Williams. Oh, that's Thomas Main as well, who's battling for pole position. And Tyler spun round. That's going to cook his tyres. And dare I say, that's going to be the end of the session for Tyler, unless he can get a regen lap in. Luke Davies has invalidated his time as well. There's going to be a big penalty for Thomas Main coming there, though. That is a major qualifying impediment, and usually the penalty for that is you will not get to take part in another qualifying session in your next event. So, I'm not going to assume anything too early. Of course, it's down to the opinions of our race stewards. But I do think that is going to be the penalty that is coming in there. That's really unfortunate because Tyler looks a lot better there in the middle sector. Seemed to nail it, but 16.7 for Rosenberg in the first sector. Tracking well for the time being.
Yeah, definitely. And I agree on the penalty move there. It is supposed to be a penalty. He could have easily stayed behind the car ahead. I don't know who the car ahead was, but he gave some room to stick behind it. At that moment, when you overtake another car, you basically leave no room whatsoever to get passed by a faster lapping car. So yeah, I definitely think that's going to be a quality ban. And that is unfortunate for his season start as well. It's going to, of course, have some influence at least on the next race he will do. Because usually at the back, you catch the spinners in the front. And that is something you don't want to have ahead of you. FIFA is also in a lap now. He is not improving as much as Legend is. Legend is almost 2 tenths up here. He's almost crossing the line. So I'm just going to follow him around here. It's going to be a 5, 6, 7, 7.3. Oh my god. And let's back it up and we can go home now, I think.
Unbelievable.
Thomas Lane is not there.
Here comes Vestager Badi across the start finish line. This is not going to be close, but it is going to be front row of the grid from the new Mercedes driver. Very decent lap there from Vestager Badi. Thomas is not improving here on this time, and I don't think he is going to be improving for the time being. Across the line goes Thomas Main. No, Luke has found time on another attempt, so has Davison. So here comes Luke Davies across the start finish line. Can he pip Thomas? No, he can't, but he's got a man behind him, a fellow Brit, who's going to be looking to steal the glory. Let's keep an eye on Liam Houseman as well. No, he's invalidated his time. It'll be a best of 9 for Liam Houseman. But here comes the AlphaTauri Davison coming up towards the start finish line. Adrian Tichy is behind him on a lap as well, as is the Ferrari and Nils Hartl. But here comes Davison. Can he pit Davies? No, he can't. With a 10th of a second down, I think that could have been due to the moment he had on his lap where he was impeded by Thomas Main. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer was on a push lap, but backed off of it, or has he backed off it? I can't really tell. No, he's not backed off it. He's not backed off it. This is a lap here for Jurgensmeyer. He's going to break the top 10. No, but it'll beat his teammate on debut. Not debut for that teammate battle. But it is Legend Rosenberg, who never really left, did he? It's pole position by 0.239. His statistics are not... His pole statistics, I should say. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. His pole statistics are not nearly close to Lewis McWilliam, but in terms of race wins, they are identical. So if Legend was to take a race win here, he would equal that statistic. But pole position, don't think he really actually even got into 6th gear yet.
Well, he would actually beat Lewis McWilliam's record here. They are currently equal, so that would mean I think we're going to have some furious Lewis McWilliam watching right now, thinking, damn, I should have probably raced here too. Maybe get a chance on Legend here, but Legend's just beaten everyone by 2 tenths, and on a small track like this, that's insane.
Well, here's your full qualifying results then for the season opener. It is the Dutchman who'll be alongside Vestager Badi here into the first corner. Good start from Vesta. Could cause problems here, you know. He certainly could cause problems into the first couple of corners.
Definitely.
Remember, that gap is not going to be 2 tenths heading into the first corner, so Vesta knows that, might go for a brave move. Thomas Main lines up 3rd with Luke Davies and then Tyler Davison 4th and 5th. And it's Con Dulger who is in 6th, ahead of Jack Redmond in 7th. Great quality for Con, leading the Aston Martin charge. Then it's Matthew Stotts in 8th with Liam Houseman in 9th. Nils Hartl will round out the top 10. Then it's Enzo King, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, Borbjörn, Wong Fee Anderson, and it is Julius Gastner, Tim Den Heyer, Adrian Tichy, and then the 2 who had qualifying suspensions. And the one who got disqualified, it's Yafan Guru, Morris Stumer, and Rick Debray. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back after a short commercial break and our brand new introduction video. See you in a moment. This program is brought to you by Simulus Clothing, official title sponsors of Formula Virtual Racing. But wait, there's more. Check out the official Formula Virtual Racing merchandise line out now exclusively to Simulus Clothing. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the program. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Formula Virtual Racing. You can see on your screen now the track that these drivers will be facing this evening. It is the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache, named after one of 5 Brazilian Grand Prix winners, of course, the famous Jose Carlos Pache. We go back trackside for the formation lap for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Quite intriguingly, they're all on the softs except one man, Enzo King, on the mediums. That's indeed. Apologies if we are dropping a few frames. Hopefully we're all okay now from a lag perspective. Kyle Davison, who wins this race?
Oh man, now that there's even rain coming, I am not sure at all. But yeah, I'm still going for Legend right now. Obviously his pace in the qualifying as promised as well. But yeah, I guess it's up to anyone really. As you can see Enzo King now on a different strategy as well. I think he's gonna. Well, I hope it works for him, but I don't see anyone else doing it, so he might be gambling here. And 2 other drivers here, P14 and P15, who have already decided they wanted to start on colder tires by disqualifying themselves. So it's going to be a really interesting race, even for the guys in the back. I think it's up to anyone. But if I could choose, it's going to be Legend.
Well then, Legend Rosenberg to win, says Kyle Davis. 50% of you in the YouTube stream chat think Avesta Badi is going to win this race. That's a very intriguing one. 16 for Legend, 16 for Luke, and then 16 for other. Let us know your thoughts on this Grand Prix throughout the duration of it in the stream chat. Of course, we'll try and read as many comments as we can. But all the preparation, the weeks of excitement building have led to this. We have 5 red lights at the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache. The held. Oh, we're under a virtual safety car. Despite not getting off the grid yet.
Yeah, I think we have climate protesters. I saw them running on the back.
And we finally go racing in Brazil under the virtual safety car. Codemasters are at it again, but Khan Dulger's got the launch of a lifetime and is up to 3rd spot. What is going on here at Interlagos? They all have to coast round the first couple of corners because we've started the race under virtual safety car. You got to go back to the positions you were in, lads, otherwise there's got to be drive-throughs handed here. Borbune's left the session. I think that could be potentially the glitch. There's cars going oh no. Oh, there's cars going everywhere. I think we're gonna go for a restart here, lads. I think that'll be the best point to play.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but I think we are gonna go for a restart here, ladies and gentlemen, because God knows that's the weirdest race start I have ever seen, quite frankly.
Michael Massey's really done something here. I think he's brought his kid to work or something, and then he started pressing buttons. Right now we're underway.
We are underway, but I think the decision has been made to restart anyways, because that was...
Interesting.
I don't know. I really, really don't know what happened. We'll keep broadcasting. There's 2 of us here. I'm not solo commentating, which is a very good thing, but we're going to restart, and yeah, that was really weird. I'm not. Well, what actually? Yeah, that's a new one even for me, and I commentate a lot. But Codemasters have pulled out all the stops to bring that one for the FVR season opener. They were saving that one for our season opener. They're like, I'm sure of that. Everyone's so excited for the FVR season opener here. It's gonna be a great race. We have a bit of let's have a virtual safety car to start.
Maybe it was just to highlight the moment for me to announce that the Netherlands is currently leading against Ireland in the Euro Cup qualifiers. Might have been that.
What's the score then, Kyle?
It's 1-0, and our Wood, Weghorst, scored a goal. You know it's bad when someone like that scores. I'm just saying. I'm sorry, I had to. No,
we're really bad. I will happily accept that. We are. We are really bad. But you know what, Kyle? Tell us a few racing-related jokes while I'm getting the lobby set up.
A few jokes. Oh, you're giving me a lot of space with that. No, I have one joke for now. I mean, France is playing against Gibraltar, and that's a 7 against 0 right now.
Wait, how long are they into the game?
54 minutes.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like...
Yeah. Oh, 45 minutes. Never
Oh,
mind.
oh my God,
It's
that's
not
quite
even
bad.
second half yet, so they're gonna, and Gibraltar has a red card. So yeah, there goes that. Um, yeah, I mean, this is something new for me as well to keep you guys entertained. But I'm gonna run some statistics over here, see what I can do regarding that. Currently, as it stands, I mean, we've
Legend's
got
already in the
Legend
lobby. I
Rosenberg.
haven't sent invites yet. That's impressive. He's eager to go.
He's faster than everyone.
What an eager man. He's first into
Yeah,
the lobby as
he
well.
wants his win. He wants his win. You know, he wants to break the record here because he can still break the record there of Lewis McWilliam and maybe do the take the L on him. I don't know. So he might be trying to join the lobby quickly to get himself ready or get himself prepared. Yeah, that is
Also,
actually
rather
really
disappointing,
impressive.
custom weather isn't an option.
It isn't.
No, on the game, it's not an option for some reason.
How?
I don't know, it's just not an option. It just will not let me pick custom weather. Which is so annoying, because we were going to have an absolute barnstormer with the weather.
Yeah, we were gonna have an exciting race with the rain in the middle, but I mean, it's Interlagos, so I think it's gonna be an exciting race anyway.
Hopefully.
I am still hoping and praying for a bit of rain, though. That would, of course, spice things up a little bit, make it a little bit more enjoyable, and of course, interesting strategy-wise. So, yeah, if you can't find these settings of custom weather, then it's just hoping and praying for some rain.
I do feel sorry if anyone went for a wet setup, because they would have had a huge advantage.
Yeah, that might have been the reason why. No, it's probably because Legend's fast anyway. But you know, he might have been on a dry setup, and everyone else was in a wet setup. In an ideal world, that's the case, but I don't think it's an ideal world. So I think the rest of the guys have a bit of a problem with pace. So they're gonna have to do it on strategy, slipstreaming, and luck. But again,
You
as
need a
some
bit of
people said,
everything. You need a bit of all that in FVR. Strategy,
yeah, as
slipstream,
I was
and
about to
luck.
say, as someone said, in an FVR race, you need not only your pace, you also need luck and a strategy. Because no one's won a race on bad luck.
You also need to hope that the game doesn't die, because it decided that we're going to do a virtual safety car.
Yeah, no,
start.
this was Michael Masi. I've received a message. He's been taken to the back and shot, so we won't have a VSC.
Oh,
the
let's
next
not
time we
say
start
that.
the race.
This is the stream's doing rather well, guy. Let's not say that.
Okay, never mind. He's been asked to not deploy the safety car again during the start of a race, so we're gonna have to see what happens there. I certainly hope the game. Well, it doesn't surprise me actually. These glitches. Does it surprise you at this point?
Nope.
Hope Masters. At least the game's
hold
free
on.
this week, so ladies and gentlemen.
Seemingly you can customize weather, but I just can't. That is...
Oh! Well, I mean, if that's the case, it might just be skill.
No, it's not skill. I genuinely can't do it. It does not let me customize weather. Which is annoying.
So, is it not like a setting that you've done like the professional view setting or something, where you can't view all the rosters? Like you've got all these tabs on your screen, and then when you enable the pro settings or the professional settings, you can't see them all.
I'm so confused. What are you saying?
Yeah, let me just invite me, and I'll see if I can.
Hold on a second. There's expert mode. Oh, I have it now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you have it on?
That was really weird. Can you invite who's missing, Kyle, potentially, so we can try get this?
Can you invite me?
That'd be a start, wouldn't it? This is amateur hour here in the Formula Virtual
that would be a great.
You know
start,
what, folks? We'll be back in a couple of moments. We're gonna get this all set up, and then we'll be back. This program is brought to you by Simulus Clothing, official title sponsors of Formula Virtual Racing. But wait, there's more. check out the official Formula Virtual Racing merchandise line, out now exclusively to Simulus Clothing. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the program. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache. Apologies for that, folks. We just decided we'd go off air and get everything sorted as a team, because teamwork makes the dream work. We're here, grid is set. We also do have custom weather, despite me panicking. So we will have dry, rain, dry for this race. It's going to be sunny, then it'll go rain, and then we will have dry. It's quite good that we actually have custom weather, because we know what we can expect then. We're not going to be second-guessing and feeding you wrong information. But circuit here at Brazil was designed by British engineer Luis Romero Sanson. First ever race was held here on the 12th of May in 1914. That was the third Grand Prix of Sao Paulo, which was won by Nascimento Jr. You might think I've just read that off a page, but that's the most random statistic I know of by heart.
Is this for real?
Yeah, I know that statistic randomly.
Wow.
Couldn't tell you what I for a test on Tuesday. I said I couldn't tell you what I have to write for a test on Tuesday, but you know.
There's no way. I can't even remember the circuit, and I've driven on it for 6 hours in an endurance race lately. So yeah, that's wow. Respect to you for that. Yeah, I'm actually a bit starstruck by that. Anyway, Rack. It's not the second Grand Prix of FVR in Sao Paulo. It's the first one still, and we're almost on the way. So I'll let you take it away.
Formation lap, Carl. You can keep going.
Oh, never mind. It's a formation lap. Luckily not behind the safety car this time, because our last start was. Codemasters has decided to spice things up a little. Of course, we didn't decide to go through it. Different strategies now, though. Two guys on the soft. That's going to be Kane Dulger and Zauberdrache. 1971. I'm guessing that's one of the two Germans on the grid today.
One of three.
Evan, correct me if
I'm wrong. One of four.
Four! They're taking over. It's those guys who are on the softs, as the rest of the grid is on the mediums. Of course, they have decided to stay out a little bit longer, try to run it out until the rain drops, and then go in for the inters or even the wet compound of tires. Because rain is coming, ladies and gentlemen. It is coming in the middle part of the race, which will throw up strategies, throw off some drivers, and make the race a little bit more interesting. I can't wait for it, and I'm still predicting Legend as your winner.
So a Legend to win, says Kyle. It is, of course, Haas who start from pole position in this race. Dulger is actually ahead of Jack.
Oh my god.
Is that supposed to be like that? I don't know.
And they've disqualified.
Oh, I really hope this doesn't cause a glitch again. If it does, I'm going to freak.
Same guys that disqualified each other, by the way.
Nice one, Nils. Nice one, Enzo. But McLaren started in fourth. They won, of course, their first constructors' title here. They would have won they won their second most recent constructors' title here. They would have won their most recent here as well if the race wasn't cancelled. But they're actually the most successful team at this track. Luke starts fourth, Adrian 17, so he's going to be hoping to cut through the field. Ignore that strategy on your screen. We've got rain coming here at the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache. Rick Debray will bring us around to line up at the grid. If the anticipation was heavy before, it certainly is now, because we've had that extra few minutes to wait. I'm praying everything goes well, and hopefully we don't start under virtual safety car again. Oh, and we're dropping frames in the stream again, which is it's splendid. Hope you're enjoying the action.
These guys haven't forgot their setups.
If they have, I don't really care, because it's kind of their own fault. Isn't it?
Good point. Good point.
But here we go then. Rick Debray lines up on the grid slot. Hopefully, it's a lot more smoother than the first time. It's Rosenberg and Gobadi on the front row. We've got 5 red lights for the second attempt at a start here in Sao Paulo. Oh, this has not gone very well. We're under safety car. We go racing in Brazil under the safety car. And they're all retired. Oh, why are they all retiring? I wasn't going to do a restart, but they're all retiring from the session again. Well, this has been chaotic. I wasn't going to do a restart, but I think we have to now.
I fear we do so, because Legends actually somehow drifted and reversed through turn 1.
I was just going to let the safety car play out.
Yeah, that would have been a better solution here, because I think that safety car disappears after a while. That is unfortunate, because I think we're going to have to restart again, yes.
Well, we technically don't. They did that under their own accord, but I think...
Now the Legend isn't... Oh, now... Oh, 1 feet.
Yeah, folks. Apologies for this. I knew this was going to be a disaster because it's been one of these weeks. We'll be back after the restart. This program is brought to you by Simulus Clothing, official title sponsors of Formula Virtual Racing. But wait, there's more. Check out the official Formula Virtual Racing merchandise line out now exclusively to Simulus Clothing. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the program. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Formula Virtual Racing. Thank you very much for sticking with us during the break. Do appreciate that. Hopefully we're all good to go. We're still going to have a full 50% race distance here, so we're still going to have the 36 laps. There was a vote for 35%, but all the drivers, well, some of them wanted to do 50%. Matthew Stotts and Enzo King have opted to do other stuff this evening, which once again shows their unrivaled commitment to the organisation. But we are hopefully going to go to the grid. We'll have no formation lap this time, because that seems to be the problem bearer. Codemasters claim they fixed it. They didn't. Spoiler alert. They did not fix it in the slightest. Kyle, is it still a legend prediction after the half an hour wait?
It is still a legend prediction, yeah. I mean, Niels Hartel has flown in from Europe and decided to fly back in the little break, and maybe he's got some new sort of pace or training in the meantime. But I highly doubt there will be enough to beat Legend today. I think Legend will take it away. Again, strategies, the people, the Interlagos circuit, it's all going to be really tricky.
Yes, hopefully we can go to the grid now and get this race underway. It would be nice to see some racing action. If there is a safety car at the start of this one, the drivers have all been informed to just follow the safety car around, and we will wait until it goes into the pit lane, and then we will go racing. Although it's scaring me. How long it's taken to go to the grid. Here in Brazil, if the race does get started, drivers will see a 13% engine power loss. Oh, we're going to the grid. Okay, we've got 5 red lights for the third attempt. Is third time the charm? We go racing in Brazil. We're underway. It's a great launch from Vestago Barney and from Legend Rosenberg. But Rosenberg is clear into the first corner. Luke Davies on the inside of Thomas Main here, heading in towards the CNRS's. The two rivals side by side, but Thomas Main comes out on top. In the background, they're all safely through. Look at this from Liam Houseman. Opportunistic as ever, trying to get into the slipstream of Con Dulger to go for a move down the Urethra Oposta. Redmond loses his position. The Ferrari and Nils Hartel going for the move. He gets the job done on Jack Redmond. Bit of a nudge between the pair, and there is bumping all across the board. Rosenberg has to defend from Gobadi, heading in towards Ferradura for the first time. Vesta Gobadi has got his car fired up here. Your biggest gainer so far in the opening lap, it is Tim Denhire and it is Rick Debray, who are both at 3 respectively. In terms of the tyres, all 3 compounds are available for, or are selected here for the time being, as there's a big send from a Haas in the background, and there's a car gone round actually. That's Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, who spun round here in his Alpine. Borbune tucks into the slipstream of the Haas of Tim Denhire. Yellow flag. That's unfortunately Julius Gassner, who has spun round, and bit of a slide there for Borbune.
Ricky start for almost everyone here. As you can see, Sauber Russia has spun around, but Ricky has had an amazing start as Legend. Sets the fastest lap here. Of course, that lap's going to be beaten as the fuel and the tires and the car gets better. In due overtime, as now there is a massive overtake by Buben. Oh my god, on Ricky there, and that was almost done neatly there, but there was another car there. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer on the outside there, as Ricky's maintaining his 11th position here. He's had an amazing start and has kept it clean as well.
Yeah, good start there. It's all relatively clean. We only have one driver in the pits from opening lap incidents. That is Julius Gassner, who's in the pit lane. Tim didn't hide, or no, apologies, Nils Hartel threading the needle with Jack Redmond. Redmond has got that one done, but he is 2.3 seconds adrift of Liam Houseman. The front group are all together, but Legend is starting to pull away here in this middle section. He's almost dropped them out of DRS, so he has dropped them out of DRS. Congratulations, Legend. Here's your trophy, because Avesta has made a horrible mistake into Yun Sao, and Thomas Main is going to swallow up the Mercedes in his Mercedes-powered Williams. Thomas blocked Tyler in qualifying, and Luke did block Avesta, so if both race next week, we could see them dropping somewhat down the order, but of course no DRS for the time being. Legend does set the fast lap of the race. Avesta did burn some of his battery back within DRS. No, he isn't. I don't think he's not going to get any down the right throttle Boster, because he was out of it again come the activation point, which is rather disappointing for Avesta Copadi. But a good race start here for the time being. Let us know your thoughts in the stream chat. Once we got going, we really got going. The first 3 laps have ticked over pretty quickly. Nils Hartel gets past Tim Den Heyer. Nils, the only man on the hard tires, apart from one Fee Anderson, who is actually retired from the race, but Nils Hartel, still the only man on the hard tires, struggling a bit here.
He is, and what you can also see starting to form is these DRS trains. The DRS train of Pineapple Brie or Niels Hardel, the guy that flew in, has formed his own DRS train now. And there is a lead DRS train, which will... Oh, there's a yellow flag there. There's someone around. It's the Red Bull Salvadrache. It's a terrible race for him as he's around again.
Yeah, not good for him, and that's Niels Hartel, the man on the hards, who's gone round front wing in tatters, and we've got a virtual safety car. The virtual safety has come out. This could well be upgraded to a full. This is an actual virtual safety car, not whatever shenanigans we were getting earlier. Just as we went off the cameras of Niels Hartel, his front wing goes off the circuit and into the wall. Very unfortunate.
Full safety car.
Full safety car. So we do go into full safety car. Pit stops will be available because they are all past. They are past the pit lane and past the safety car queue. So we're upgraded to the first full safety car of the season. The first actual full safety car of the season. And yeah, so that is interesting. Niels Hartel, the man who brings it out. The man who brought it out on the formation lap on the second restart one. But we won't talk about it. We won't hold it against him. I don't know. But the safety car...
We'll talk after the race.
Is it? Yeah, we'll talk after the race. Might be a bullet under his pillow, as the Mafia used to do. But, or horse's head, apologies for the Mafia, but enough of that talk.
Oh.
So, top 5, Rosenberg, Abadi. Then it's Main, Davison, Davies. Unchanged, actually. Or, apologies, the only change is Tyler Davison has overtaken Luke Davies.
Yep, there's not a lot of changes in the top 5 here, but there is going to be a massive change when the safety car restarts now. They were forming a big gap between the rest of the group here, as I was talking about that slipstream from Niels Hartel, or sorry, that train I was talking about earlier, which is now called the Liam House train. Those trains were really far apart. What you can see happening when these trains start to form is there will be gaps between them.
Oh!
And the moment that gap forms, oh god, there's something on the track here.
Tyler could be in trouble because he's just crossed the white line. You're not allowed to do that, according to the race briefing. Oh.
And that is now, under a safety car.
The only thing is, it has to be if another driver reports it. The driver behind him is Luke Davies, who is very good friends with Tyler. So...
Yeah, but it's Thomas Main. He might have seen it in this mirror.
Is Luke gonna turn a blind eye? Insert
will be interesting to see
music here.
It will be interesting to see, and it's also interesting to see these guys, the most top of the top here, the P3, all get caught out by the safety car and having to run on the grass instead of running into the back of it. That is showing some raw talent there. That is... Oh, wide open. How? Under safety car, that is...
Nils, you can't get it removed, Nils, but I'd rather you didn't, because that's just plain embarrassing. You're on a straight as well, Nils. Oh god.
That is not that handy, but I was talking about these DRS trains earlier, and they're going to play a big role in this race. I forgot to tell you about them. Once the big gaps start to form between those trains, they will start driving on their own and be forming their own race within that pack. Usually, it never changes. So we'll see what the top 5 can do here, but if there is a big gap in pace, we'll easily see those two groups drift apart here and make for an even more interesting race. And may I remind you here, there is rain coming.
There is.
So are these guys realistically benefiting from a pit stop right now?
We will...
I don't think they are.
We'll wait to see. Jack Redmond saying he's having internet issues on return. God, this really is an old race. We've got old drivers, old game problems. We've got... I don't know. Could I have my old motivation back? The one I had specifically 30 minutes ago for this race.
I'd rather have my voice back. The squeaky one.
Oh, no. I hope you didn't really watch the clip we posted yesterday. I posted this clip, so I can't really complain. But the FVR Retro Season 2 video, while we're under the safety car, go watch it now, because it's a lap long. It was me sounding like a child version of Mickey Mouse, who was afraid to shout over a decibel.
It was really interesting to always watch you try to not shout with your kid voice on. I miss those times.
Do you want to know why? It's because I used to commentate
Why?
in the sitting room with my full family. But that stopped halfway through an old league season, so I don't have that excuse for the Interlagos race. It was just a habit I got into. Now I never shut up.
Aha!
But
You know, I
but it
actually used to
be
race
like
in my
this,
living
and
room an FVR.
Kerem Demirtas goes down the inside of Benjamin Bowles.
Oh,
See, it was me, unfortunately.
exactly
so,
that.
So I do have to... Yeah, it was me, so I can still do the voice.
Yeah.
I've just got a little
obviously.
bit better, I think.
Safety car in his lap, though.
Thank God.
As we progress from that
Oh,
horrendous
there's an Alfa
memory
Romeo
catching.
off.
Someone went off.
Yeah, Jack Redmond on the entrance to Yunsao. Legend Rosenberg, welcome back to Formula Virtual Racing, my friend. It's time for you to do a restart. There's more hiccups with the Alfa Romeos. That's Yaf and Panguru picking up 5 seconds. For an instant with Tim Denhire. It's one of these races, folks. Hopefully, it turns into an absolute corker. Avesta Gobadi has been caught absolutely asleep, still tucked in under the duvet with under some nice candlelight because he was asleep on the safety car restart. We go racing once again here in Interlagos. Thomas Main was not able to capitalise on it. Here's Luke Davies trying it round the outside of his fellow Brit. Davison and Davies side by side for the centre S's. The McLaren comes out on top. Can Davison go for the switchback? Usually the craftier of the two, but it seems like Luke Davies is the man with all the opportunities taken on this occasion. Davies in 4th, Davison in 5th. Jurgensmeyer now side by side with Rick Debray at the braking zone for the Decido Delago at 4 and 5, apologies. He's got the job done. Still 2 abreast in front. Liam Houseman looking up the inside of Jack Redmond. Don't take too much risks here, Liam. You're on for a potential good result in this Grand Prix as we see the dark clouds looming over the circuit. Wobble there for Jack Redmond. First league race in a while. Maybe feeling the pressure a little bit of the speedy Dutchman behind, but we will wait and see. Legend has not got out of DRS despite getting an unbelievable safety car restart. It has to be said he got away well. Luke Davies still under pressure from his good mate Tyler Davison here in the battle for 4th.
In the meantime, in the back, there has been some action. It has been Borbune who slowed down on the straight. Probably some pedal issues. His buddy's now going for the overtake on Jatin Panguru, who had that weird safety car restart, and he's already been caught. Talking about people who've been caught, Avesta Gobadi. Such a big gap between him and Legend at the restart, but it's starting to decrease just a little bit. As I'm saying that, the gap, of course, increases, but you know what I mean. He's been caught sleeping. He's been handing out early presents for Christmas to Legend here, as we are currently on our A flap and the clouds are getting darker.
Liam Houseman.
See if those presents get even better.
Apologies, Kyle. Liam Houseman has already used 90% of his battery and he's not within a second of Can Dolger. That's not good running. Avesta's used a bit of his battery as well, but it's not that bad. Legend has also used a bit. Legend's used about 30%, I reckon. And Avesta, I don't know, about 60, maybe. Nils Hartl making a move on a fellow German, Yatin Panguru. These two are having a chat in the Discord on who has the better racing IQ. For now, it's Hartl, because he has the inside line. Better tyres, braking for the right-hander of the Bico de Pato, the Duck's Bill. Now they're side by side, and Avesta Gobadi. There's problems for the lead Mercedes. He's spun into Yunsao and slowly falls down the grid. Can't get the car grippy enough to get it back in a straight line. Travesty for the Ukrainian of Avesta Gobadi. Here comes Luke Davies. They're almost 3 abreast heading into the turn number 1 of the Senna S's. It's Thomas Main under pressure from Luke Davies and Tyler Davison. It's safe to say this one is personal between the Belgians. The duo in the hand has a clear road in front and a pretty much clear road behind after that spin by Avesta.
He really does. 2.9 seconds is the gap now as these three are fighting very harshly for the second position. It might not be the best move here to fight it out in the second sector, as currently Legend is flying away. 3.2 now. It's been 2/10s in over 3 corners. He is currently flying as the rest of the grid has no way of catching him. Also at the moment, Kane Dozier there, 1.4 seconds. He's breaking the slipstream train, meaning these guys in the top will fly away shortly if Kane doesn't get a foot on the gas shortly.
Here comes Thomas Main. To the outside goes the Belgian. And he's got the job done. Around the outside, Luke will have the DRS down the Retro Bosta, the second of 3 mini straights, I suppose, here in Brazil. Tucks into the slipstream. Redmond gets past Houseman, or apologies, Houseman gets the job done back again. Maybe a bit of lag for Jack Redmond. It's got very dull all of a sudden here in Interlagos. Thomas Main keeps the position over Luke Davies. Is that rain? How is it? Yep, it's raining. Rain has hit the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache, and there is already a car around Julius Gassner, and we're under safety car. There goes your interesting strategy.
Niels Hartel in the wall as well. Zaubertrasje out of the race. And Borbjorn has completely lost it. Liam House in the meantime, 0% battery. Now on 13% with the safety car, but the rain is falling as well. Everything's falling apart now. Even the clouds.
Well, it is raining. Surely it's a pit for the intermediates.
Yeah, definitely. And it's surely going to be pit for Niels Hartel there at the back. He's flown into the wall alongside with Zauber, so there must have been some sort of collision there. As that is an interesting start of the rainy moments in the race. Currently everyone in the pits, of course. Another safety car, 10 laps into the race.
Well, Borbjorn has left the session. Hopefully we can get him back in.
Yeah.
It's Inters for Legend. I take it it's going to be Inters for pretty much everyone here. Unfortunately, I would have loved to see how that was going to play out, but Julius Gassner is out of the Grand Prix and has spun as soon as the rain hit. Safety car is out and waiting for the second time in 11 laps. And yeah, we're now on the intermediates.
Yep, everyone on the intermediate compound tires. It's going to be an interesting. Reports now in the chat. He had contact with the Ferrari, and that Ferrari is, of course, Niels Hartel, who also flew into the wall. He is currently out on the track again. He's just driving the pit lane out on the intermediate tires, and he will be the last one to do that. As the AI of Borbjorn has decided it is not raining enough. He's staying out on the hard.
Oh, I'm sorry, Bor. That's really unlucky, but he'll get back in and he'll pit. We're in the safety car. He will be at the...
Oh, he's back. He's back.
He would have been at the back anyways, so it doesn't make much of a difference. Unfortunately, Julius not having the debut he hoped for. He's just informed us in the stream chat. Yeah. All unfortunate there for Julius. I would have hoped that he was able to have a bit of a better of a debut. I gotta say, this track is raining quite heavily. And the track is very wet.
It is.
All of a sudden.
It's looking like a lot of aquaplaning too. I'm watching along with Borbjorn's AI as
We're
he's
not red flagging it. You're going to just
basically
have to cope.
sailing through Sector 2.
But very interesting thing here is we know it's going to get dry at some point as well towards the end of the race because the rain has hit early and it is going to dry up. The crossover point could be really interesting here on who pits when.
Definitely, and it's going to be interesting as well on who gets the best weather advice from the weathermans. Over at the HQ, I would probably say, of the racing teams. These guys need to pit in... well, it's going to be tricky when they decide to go back on the slicks as well. So I think it's really all to play for again. Jatin Panguro is celebrating
He is
rain.
celebrating that there's rain. Borbjorn
is not celebrating.
He's got 5 seconds for speeding in the pit lane. Boy, you were last and were under safety car. There was no need to take a risk into the pit lane. You could have just broken... I don't think he had any grip to slow down, to be brutally honest. If you're wondering about the greatness of
Gonna give him a little
Rosenberg,
tip.
he just broke the DRS gap on Thomas Main under the safety car.
Yeah, he's even flying under the safety car. Gonna give a little tip to Borbjorn though. It is maybe handy if the safety car doesn't go in this lap to pit again for the intermediate tires, because I believe you've got 2 if you pre-selected the normal.
Yeah, you should have 2. Certainly,
and
they didn't use any in qualifying.
Because you're not losing anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I would say pitting right now would be the best. To pit again, unless the safety car goes in, then there's a different story. But we'll have to see. Jakub Prokop is saying hello in the chat. Would you look at that?
Speaking of washed racers, no, I'm joking. Sorry, Jakub. Hope you're keeping well.
No. Go ahead. Keep going. I like this part.
How's the Slovenian national team doing? But speaking, or apologies. Oh, that's unlucky. Safety car in this lap. What I was going to say for Bor is I was going to say I'm not encouraging this, but I'm also giving some honest feedback. He shouldn't have caught the safety car queue and made a stay after another lap, so he could serve that penalty.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Well, maybe that's just my racing genius. Who knows? Safety car restart once again, going to be conducted by the GOAT, Legend Rosenberg. But it's in different conditions this time. It's in intermediates. He's not going to be able to be as smart because he's got to be clever here and got to get that throttle application perfectly. And we go racing. Once again, he's got it perfectly. Not as good as maybe his restart over Vestigobani, but it is still a good restart nonetheless, and he's not going to be under any pressure. Keep an eye on Tyler Davison. Very, very crafty in these conditions. He is a bit of a wet weather monster at the best of times. Into the first corner, all safely through. Jack Redmond fighting with Rick Debray. The red lights are flashing no longer because of ERS, but now because of the rain. Adrian Tushy, all out of shape, heading through the Curva del Sol and loses a handful of spaces in the time being. Here comes Tyler Davison and Luke Davies, as Tyler Davison was, I think, alongside Luke Davies, but Luke has held the position there. Luke stays in third, or has gone up to third. I wasn't sure if he was in front or not, but Luke is now in third. There's a yellow flag. That's Nils Hartl, who's gone round. Avesta Gobadi cutting through the field. Now these conditions will suit Avesta once again, as there's a car wide. Khan Dolger runs wide, heading in towards turn number 8, and then in towards turn number 9. Oh, Khan is really struggling in these conditions. All out of shape. Debray's now gone round the outside. Gobadi on the inside, breaks late for the pick at the Pato. Khan Dolger losing positions left, right and centre, was having such an encouraging performance. He's been pushed onto the curb, and now Adrian Tichy is trying the long way around the outside, heading through Mergulio and in towards Yunsao. Jurgensmeyer trying it the long way around the outside through Yunsao. What's wrong with the Aston Martin of Khan Dolger? He was high flying in the points. He's now not scoring any. Here comes Tim Den Heijden through the Arqui Bancadas in the slipstream of the Alpine. Does Dolger have damage? He's being bumped under the white line, using his battery now, just attempting to keep it 12th position here in this race. He was in 6th a few moments ago, but Khan Dolger does keep it on the Haas and now going to try work a move past Jonathan Jurgensmeyer in the Alpine. Nils Hardle has retired from proceedings in this race after causing 2 safety cars. You made your mark, Nils, but Tim Den Heijden is not able to get past Jurgensmeyer, and now Avesta Gopadi past Rick Debray. Avesta, one of the big movers here. Legend is not out of a second. No DRS, of course, because we're under wet conditions, but Thomas Main is holding his own in second.
What a battle between Khan Dolger and Jonathan de Gersmeyer. That move in the last corner was beautiful. That is something you would call for the Alpine team sweet, sweet French victory. Talking about sweet French victory, as I...
Oh, here comes Gopadi.
Oh,
Ran the outside of Jack Redmond. That was impressive. Avesta is rocking and rolling here in the wet conditions of Interlagos. That's Morris Stumer, who unfortunately goes round into the infield. He continues in the race. There's no damage for the German. Maybe just a bit of ego damage for Morris Stumer. But heading through Yunsao, is Tyler going to have a go on Luke Davies? Adrian Tish. Oh, Rick Debray has actually spawned, and a bit of a dangerous rejoin potentially for Rick Debray. Almost clipped the rear left of Adrian Tishy, but thankfully all okay. Houseman, let's go Bardi through as we have Stumer off again. And we're under safety car for the 3rd time in this Grand Prix. That's for Morris Stumer, who went off heading through Mergulio. He was suspiciously slow at that point on the circuit. I wonder will the stewards have anything to say.
We'll have to see. As I was talking about that move by Jonathan, we gotta give credit where credit's due. That was an amazing move on the outside on the last corner. Just wanted to talk about the sweet Alpine victory there, getting a position. Some say French victory, right? I don't know if it's a saying or not, but French victory?
I've no idea.
No? Okay, well, I just wanted to talk about another French victory real quickly. As I looked to my left side, I was looking at the scores of the European qualifiers. As we're in the safety car, I figured I could talk about that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Guess the score between France and Gibraltar.
Okay, so you said 7-0 at one point, didn't you?
Yeah.
It's
It's now the 81st minute.
I'm going to say 12.
It is 12-0.
Yeah, I read it. I lied.
That is... Oh, come on, man. No, you ruined that, man. It's... How can you lose... Okay, well...
I was checking the Irish score.
No.
We're still losing 1-0.
What's new?
Very sad. Very, very sad.
You'll be okay. You'll be okay. Just like Legend. He's...
I mean, we're already
Why is
out.
he...
We can't qualify, so it's fine.
No, well, you actually can still. You're better off losing this game. Did you know that?
No, that's all done.
Goal's been cancelled. Goal's been cancelled.
That's all done for we even if we lost this game, we couldn't have got through. 2 pillars, actually, mind you, and seemingly the reason Niels was having so much struggle. So much struggle. I'm having so much struggle saying this sentence is...
I was about to say.
Is the game didn't let him select a setup. And I don't think he's the only one that's actually happened to. I think it happened to Wong Fei Anderson as well. I hate this game. We did a 4-hour race on GT7 in one sitting and did not have as much trouble. And that's a terrible game.
We did a 24-hour race and didn't have as much trouble. GT7's game to
well, us as a team did.
No, but that's a different story. That's just Jakub in the chat. He's the guy you're looking for when you want to bottle things up, spice things up, I should say. Jakub Prokop.
Also, seemingly, there's an FVR endurance team. Seemingly,
there is.
Seemingly, it's Liam Houseman, Tyler Davison, Avesta Gobadi, and someone else.
Looking forward.
They asked me, did I want to race? I said no, because I can't. I'm really busy with exams and stuff. And then all of a sudden, FVR Racing Team was born. They're racing in a 24-hour of Le Mans in a few weeks' time. Make sure to check them out. We'll do a post on Instagram or something closer to the time, but that's good news, I suppose. While we're under the safety car, make sure to check out our title sponsors, Simulus Clothing. I have a Simulus Clothing phone case on my phone, and I was wearing a Simulus Clothing t-shirt earlier. Very comfortable, good sizing, good delivery, good quality, good prices too. Make sure you do check those out, because every purchase does support the league, it helps fund Luke Davies' World Champion trophy, which he has. If I was a good broadcast manager, I'd have a photo to bring up on the screen, but unfortunately I don't. But you can check it out on our Instagram and on Luke's private Instagram, which is just @LightningLuke5. So you can check out Luke's World Championship winning trophy, which was fully bought and paid for by Simulus Clothing. So they are excellent sponsors in that regard. And I very much enjoy parading my FVR merch around the house. Kyle, do you have an FVR t-shirt?
Not yet, but I'm waiting to buy one after that great speech.
It
looks comfy and it does look nice. Yeah, you do have to get me one, because I'm really interested now too. They do look nice. I remember the commentary corner where you have
commentary corner. Should we bring that in for the F1? We want to see FVR commentary corner on the F1
Yeah,
broadcasts.
we should definitely introduce that and then just have Simulus clothing on, because clothing look nice. Talking about the FVR racing team, by the way.
Jurg was watching the stream and just said my AI pit.
Yeah, your AI is doing interesting stuff.
Madness.
But the AI, Warbeam was doing the same interesting strategy. So, anyway,
it's safe to report we're halfway through the
racing
race now. Which good
in
news.
this lap.
Safety car. Hopefully in this lap as what has left. Safety car in this lap. Lights are out on the safety car, and Legend Rosenberg has a third FVR safety car restart to conduct. Jack Redmond, 5-second penalty collision with Liam Houseman. Wonder what's happened there. That's the second time in 2 safety car restarts that an Alfa Romeo has made contact with another driver heading through Yunsao on a safety car restart. Look at Luke Davies, maybe just trying to psych out the Williams a little bit, heading towards the Arqui Bancadas and onto the main straight. It is the responsibility of Rosenberg to get us restarted. He does that now, catches them out. We go racing here in Brazil. Great restart from Luke Davies, reacted perfectly. Now in the slipstream of Thomas Main. Is he going to go for this one into the center S's? Luke Davies on the inside now. Davison on the inside of Avesta Gobadi. Gobadi trying to get it done. Davies tries the outside. Gobadi completes it on the inside. Gobadi now still here with Tyler Davison. And look at Davison trying it on the both of them into the slipstream of the Williams. He was down to fifth, now up to third. Slipstreaming the Williams for second. What a piece of racecraft here in the wet conditions of Interlagos. Tyler Pastilli did it a couple of seasons ago. Tyler Davison completes the double here in Interlagos. What an overtake from the pair. Davies was caught napping a little bit there. I think he was trying to sit behind the Williams to get a good run down towards the left-hander of the Descida Delago, or he just didn't have the grip. Both reasonably excusable excuses. But what a restart. Legend's gone into the sunset, but Davison pulling out all the stops here.
He is, and also one thing that happened though to these, Liam House spinning around early in the lap there. Turn 1, turn 2 were fine, but turn 3, the car of Liam was turned around, and now he's in P50 with 6 seconds. Hope that gap closes in soon, as the guys in the front are making a beautiful battle of this, aren't they? The rain is surely spicing things up now.
Yeah, certainly is, and as well in the backpack, here comes Adrian Tushy going for the move on Yafan Penguru, heading in towards turn number 1, the centre S. Oh, there's a third car involved. It's Jonathan Jurgensmeyer who's trying the Davison approach, and Tushy unfortunately also loses out like Luke Davies did, but Tushy in a much more dramatic manner. He runs well wide into turn number 1, gets on the track turn 2, huge tank slapper, now falls behind Bor Bune. Bune took it into the slipstream as they're weaving down the straight. Penguru has worked his way into the points here. Tim Den Hire goes for the outside on the Alfa Romeo. Oh, braking on the grass. Den Hire's not going to get his Haas Formula 1 car stopped. And now Morris Stumer on the inside. He's a car on the outside. Left, right, centre, back, forward. There's cars everywhere here and into Lagos. It is an absolute shindig here in the middle of the pack. They're having great fun in these wet conditions. Up the front, it's been taken a little bit more seriously. Legend has pulled a 2-second gap over Thomas Main, who leads by 0.5 of a second over Tyler Davison. Legend, though, is doing everything he wants here in this one, and I think he is almost dead set on our winner for now, because he's definitely the quickest man on circuit, and it's probably not even close.
Yeah, it's definitely not close, as Blaze Tim has just made a move, moving himself up to P10 here, getting the Haas in the points here. Jayden Paguru losing a spot there to him. As we were talking about Legend and the setups of the rain, I think he might have put a rain setup on his car, considering his pace right now, compared to Tyler and Thomas Main, who are fast drivers. They're definitely not pancakes, but they are, well, how do you put it lightly? They are getting sent out of the park right now, I could say, yeah.
Yeah, they certainly are.
Seconds.
I agree with you. Although, they've caught a little bit in the first couple of corners of this lap. That 20 of 36, if you're enjoying the action, please pop a subscription on the FVR YouTube channel. We would love to be able to do stuff like this to a much higher scale, so thank you very much for tuning into the broadcast. We greatly appreciate all your support here on the season opener for season 11. Yellow flag in sector 2. Oh, yellow it's the other Haas. It's Tim Den Hire, who's gone round heading through Ferradura, and it's one Haas leading, it's one Haas at the bottom. Haas is the bread to a grid sandwich.
As he was just in the points, he just made that beautiful move, and Jayden Paguru just to lose it out. A lap later, I believe that's pure commentary jinx. And that, I might have to apologize to the Haas team for that one. Currently...
Fellow Dutchman as well, how dare you?
Yeah, I could be trialed for treason here, basically, as we can see a battle between Jayden Paguru is again having to defend his P10 here. The Alvatari of Matze here is closer and closer, and he's actually going to go for a move here around the outside. Currently around the outside, but in the inside for the next corner. That is some smart racing as the Alpha sticks side to side still, and he's, ooh, big slide, but he's got it done. And in the meantime, Bunnies is also chasing. That is Adrian Ticey, I think, closing up as well to P11. Jayden Paguru losing a lot now.
Tyler Davison has had a moment because he's now 1.3 behind Thomas Main and under huge pressure from Luke Davies heading in towards Ferradura. Tyler doesn't really like this Brazilian Grand Prix track. His pace is very similar to Luke's though. The two Brits are driving sort of level pegging. Look at Avesta Bali though. He's just a shark lurking in the waters. Pardon the pun. As Colin Dulger is up to 7th. We saw him drop down on the second safety car where he started. The third one's gone much better for him though. Rick Debray losing a bit of time because of that, and now under pressure from Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, who is American, so I'm not sure why I've said his name in a French accent. But nonetheless, Tyler has found a little bit more form, but I gotta say, Thomas, all things considered, well. Sorry, Carl, just gonna jump over you here because here comes Luke Davies.
Tyler and the yellow flag as well.
Luke Davies goes for this one. One McLaren gains a spot, the other McLaren loses a spot. Tyler, huge slide mid-corner. Luke Davies now still on top in this battle. Tyler will be under huge pressure from the Ukrainian of Avesta Gobani, and the car got off. It's the Alpha Tower. He's got, so close to the wall. Just gets back on the Retra Oposta and actually gets the spot back. I think Avesta could have let him through. I think he forced him off the circuit and let him through. Good sportsmanship from Avesta Gobani.
That is good sportsmanship, but it loses them so much time, as now the gap between them and Luke Davies has, well, the gap between those guys it's not that big, but Luke Davies and Darfiva, they're separated by more than 2 seconds right now, and that is something you don't want to see, because this rain's gonna stop and the DRS will come back. That means the threats will come from behind and you won't be a threat to the guy ahead of you. Liam Howe is also making a move now, P12 for the Mercedes.
Former Brazilian Grand Prix winner Liam Carrig is actually in the stream chat. Hello, Liam. Liam won the Season 6 Brazilian Grand Prix. However, the highlight of his career was sideswiping Legend Rosenberg a couple of weeks later in the United States. He says, Legend in FVR is criminal. GG. I think there's 19 other drivers plus reserves that probably agree with you, Liam. So certainly not an incorrect statement. Here comes Avesta Badi. Tries the Davison dummy up the inside, as it was self-dubbed, in the Netherlands. Now Davison has the live through here, and there's a nudge, and that sends the Mercedes backwards and round. Avesta Badi facing the wrong way, not for the first time in this Grand Prix, struggling for traction to get the car going in a lower position than he was starting the lap, not for the first time in this Grand Prix. And just to make his woes worse, it's Tyler's teammate who he's now battling with, Morris Stewart. We've a guy on the slicks, Panguru's got with the slick tyres here. That could be a very interesting to track his pace. Glad he stays ahead of Stumer. Down to 9th, still picking up 2 solitary points, but not really what he would have wanted fighting for a podium.
Definitely not. And of course, there was also, well, now that the rain stopped, it might even get worse, as JT Paguro got a 5-second time penalty entering the pits too fast. So he's really eager to enter the pits, a bit too eager, and he's already lost 5 seconds thanks to it. And as I'm following him right now, it doesn't look that bad actually. It seems to dry up really quickly as the weather changes a lot in Interlagos. So I think this is just normal, but in one lap it looks quite dry.
He is losing time, but he's not losing an awful lot, mind you. So that's one thing to keep note on. We'll keep our eyes closely peeled to the Alfa Romeo. Here comes Cam Duggar, overtakes Jack Redmond. As Jack, a little bit of nudge. Oh, DRS enabled. This is intriguing.
Yeah,
Anyone? Oh, yes, because we do have guys who are just entering the pit lane. Houseman speeds in the pit lane. Tim Denhire gets in as well, as does Adrian Tichy. This could be a Yafin Panguru masterclass here, because he already has his tyres up to relative temperature, as we do see Redmond get back past Duggar here, heading towards Ferradura. But the DRS is enabled. Surely we're going to see everyone come into the pit lane now. Soft tyres for Denhire and for Tichy, hards for Liam Houseman, mediums for Yafin Panguru. If someone could go on the wets now, we'd have every tyre on the track, but I don't think anyone is going to do that. The track has dried up notoriously quickly. Your race leaders, Legend Rosenberg, your podium drivers, Thomas Main and Luke Davies, are all going to be pitting. I pretty much think everyone's got to pit because the track is bone dry. Yathan Panguru's 13th now is catching Tim Denhire, but Tim Denhire is clawing into the gap in front of him between Borbune. It's now 22.6, 22.5, 22.4, 22.3, 22.2. You get it. Tim Denhire is catching Luke Davies, 5 seconds, speeding in the pit lane. Tyler Davison,
Tyler.
5 seconds, speeding in the pit lane. The pit lane is causing havoc with its speed limit lines, as we do see a slide for Rick Debray. Had to lock the tyres to get the car stopped, but he did get it stopped. Thomas, medium, softs for Legend, Luke and Tyler, but Luke and Tyler now have penalties. Where's Yafin Panguru in all of this? Oh, he's just running through the final couple of corners. There's not going to be that much gain necessarily. Tim Denhire might gain a little bit, but we got to see how these tyres warm up on the exit of the pit lane. Thomas Main is under pressure from Luke Davies on the soft compounded tyres, but Thomas obviously feels the mediums are better for the long run. It's instant attack from the McLaren up the inside into the Decido de Lago. Davies is up to second. He's got to get a hurry on though, because he does have a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Denhire is now 10th in this race. The undercut really did work.
It did, and of course these guys are now, well, Jayden Panguru hasn't actually gained that much with the undercut, now that I think of it. He was in P12 earlier.
Not really positions, but he has gained time. He was a lot further behind
Yeah,
Moss.
definitely. Time as well. Talking about gainers here, we have Ricky gaining 11 positions from where he started on the grid. That is a masterclass of a race, disregarding the penalty he has, though, because loads of guys have had penalties. As you can see, the pit lane entry has been found quite hard to do. I believe this is the 6th pit lane entry time penalty.
Yeah, of course, a couple have been served. Borbune served his, of course. Thomas Main just lifts off. It's a car around. That's Denhire. The man who was making all the progress has just taken too much out of Yunsao. Adrian Tishy up the inside into the Arquay Buncanas on Morris Stumer. Tishy going for broke here. He's going for Yaffa Pankuru as well. Look at Adrian Tishy go into the centre S's. Fastest lap of the race for the Canadian. Adrian is a man on a mission. He's into the point here in Interlagos, and he's picking up an extra one because he's the fastest lap. Stumer sent round by his fellow German Yaffa Pankuru. Morris Stumer round facing the wrong way and down to 15th. There could be a penalty coming Yaffan's way from the post-race stewards.
Definitely, that was a malicious move there, as Liam House is currently, well, he's already passed Borbune actually. That was a nice and neat move, and he's already got the jump on him as Dar FIFA, aka Thomas Main, is also closing up to Lightning Luke. That 5-second penalty won't help him, but the pace he has at the moment isn't helping him either.
And they both dropped Tyler Davison. He's 1.8 seconds behind, not even close, as Legends just the fast lap of the race. It was fun while it lasted, Adrian. Here comes the Belgian at Thomas Main, up the inside of Luke Davies. Luke and Thomas fought here back ages ago when Luke was just a rookie. Luke is now the defending world champion, and he's battling with Thomas Main. Main gets the job done, however, in towards the Center S's round through the Curva del Sol. Here comes Luke Davies onto the Retro Aposta. He gets the job done back, burns that extra bit of battery and stays ahead. Obviously wants to be ahead through the corners to try utilise these soft tyres. It's now bone dry. Dried up in literally a lap and a half.
It has dried really quickly. As Interlagos is very infamous for its weather changes, but this is even fast for that, isn't it? And talking about something else here, Legend has used a lot of his ERS. I've been noticing his ERS drop back to even 10%. He's quite an equal game on ERS, but the guys in the back surely have more of it. So maybe get a step on and use it.
I don't think it's going to make much of a difference, really. Legend leads by 6.1 seconds. Fastest lap of the race was quicker than a load of people's pole times. Legend is...
That is true, but the guys in the back are using way less ERS than they're supposed to use.
Here comes Thomas Main, though. Gonna get this one back in towards turn number 1. I don't think Luke has a problem with that. I think he's going to try to take it back the way he did one lap previous. Tyler Davison has caught 0.4 of a second while these two have been swapping and changing. Here comes Luke, going to open that rear wing and try and get the Belgian in towards the Desida Lago. Oh no, he's not actually close enough because he didn't use his battery. So Thomas Main now leads this fight. It's now, I think, a straight fight between Luke and Tyler for the final podium placing, because it's 9.5 back to Jonathan Jurgenmart, back to Con Dolger, I should say, because Con's just taken the spot, so that 5-second penalty not affecting Luke and Tyler for the time being. They're still in a straight fight. They just can't try to get past Thomas Main. Well, they can't try to get past him, but they do have to pull 5 seconds. I'm not sure that's really feasible at this point in the race.
I don't think so either. At the moment, we do have a little interesting fact for you again. As it stands, as Legend wins this race, he will break the record of the most FVR wins by Lewis McWilliam. 23 as it stands right now, so let's hope I didn't jinx him with it. Will be the new number. Wins in the FVR races.
Yeah, it's impressive for Legend to come back and win on his first appearance, but we're not really that surprised. He's the quickest man and will be the quickest man this league will ever see for quite a long time. And he's certainly back and obviously wants to win a 4th World Drivers title. Jack Redmond has been overtaken by Rick Debray. I don't think 9th or 8th is necessarily the worst result on return for Jack Redmond, considering he's not done a full distance league race for probably a year now.
It definitely isn't. And as I'm looking through these stats sheets, do you want to know something funny?
Sure.
I have less DNFs than Sam Davidson.
The DNFs aren't updated.
You could have just said, yes, that's true, you're a better driver.
Well, you do have less DNFs than Sam, I'd say.
Yeah. Alright, thanks. Alright, that's better. I just
definitely
want to have my moment of fame, you know. I do. I race
another fun fact is you actually have 2 less career points than Mats de Zoot. That's another fun point. Mats, of course, got his 6 career points here in Interlagos a few seasons ago. As here comes Luke Davies, looking for this one on Thomas May. Didn't get the job done. Mats and Kyle are friends, by the way, just for those of you who are watching. So, Kyle is now secretly fuming.
I am hurt. That's what I am right now. Anyway,
it's still something to be proud of, Kyle. You are the 96th best driver in Formula Virtual Racing history, statistically.
Yeah, that's like receiving a participation award for a charity event.
It's all right because technically
But
I'm not a driver, so I'm 111th.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's why we're here doing commentary, not racing.
Well, I also won the league. That's why I'm here doing commentary.
That's why we're doing commentary, not racing. Shoot.
As there is a battle
As we move
still
on,
here
ladies and gentlemen.
yeah, we're going to move on before I embarrass Kyle anymore. He actually has
Yourself.
He actually has less points than the man who only did the first race ever in the league's existence, and it's by double. So interesting one. But 7.4 second lead for Legend Rosenberg. Thomas Main Davison, who overtook him in his precious AlphaTauri. I wonder can he do something similar again. But to be fair, Tyler has caught a second on these two, while they both had DRS and he didn't. That's impressive from Tyler. And he's done. Here comes Liam Houseman, absolutely the first man on the slicks. Yavin Bangulu has retired from the FVR Brazilian Grand Prix.
That is unfortunate. I was about to sigh and scream again for another penalty for the track. Sorry, not for the track limits, for the pit entry, of course. We're talking about major incidents here. It's a 5-second time penalty, which has been handed now 7 times.
Yeah, we can take a look at the penalties, of course. There they are on screen. We have active ones. We have Luke, Tyler, and Liam speeding in the pit lane. Yathan got one, but that was because he was tiring anyways. And then in terms of 3 seconds, it is just Ricky and Adrian who have them. As oh no, third spin of the day for Vestigobadi. Third time, not the charm for the Ukrainian. Oh. He's gone around a third time and may actually be lucky to get points at this point, as we have his teammate and Adrian Tishy riding through Yunsao. Tishy now in the slipstream has a huge overspeed in the Ukrainian. He's going to get this spot, and Liam Houseman is following in close quarters. Yellow flag though, that's for Morris Stumer for the final corner, so unfortunately for poor Morris, there's definitely not points on the cards. Adrian and Avesta will be fighting for the remainder of this Grand Prix. Apologies if you did just experience some lag, folks. We've been streaming for quite a bit and my laptop is cooking. Not in a good way.
Remember the old times when cooking was just a word we used like as in cooking and not as in good?
Yeah, as in
those
food.
were the good times, weren't they?
They were good times.
Yeah.
But
those were the good times.
I do quite like it now as in he's cooking.
Yeah, I do like the word cooking as well. Talking about someone who's not cooking, Avesta Gabadi going off the track once again.
Well, Avesta.
Oh, I nailed that one.
That's a well done, Kyle. You're becoming a commentator. Yeah, that's the sort of stuff we say.
Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome. You're most welcome. Lap 33 for 36 though, and something Thomas Main would like the taste of again, and something he's did a few times in Formula Virtual Racing is take a podium. He'd love another one here in Brazil. Thomas Main, of course, left the league midway through last season, wasn't to be seen. He's back and now fighting with Luke Davies and looking to beat him, something he didn't really do on many occasions last season. Thomas Main, of course, 6th most podium sitter in Formula Virtual Racing history, one off Jack Redmond. Jack not going to score a podium here today, meaning Thomas would break into the top 5, which is impressive stuff from the Belgian. Here comes Adrian Tishy, gets the job done on Vestigobadi. Jurgensmeyer fighting for his life here with Con Duggar. This is sort of for a, in quotation marks, a best of the rest point, you could say. P5 would be a great result for all 3 of these drivers. Jack Redmond fighting with them as well, so very intriguing to see how this one ends up between Alpine, Aston Martin and Alfa Romeo. Gotta say, I think Alpine is a very...
Position P5, that is 10 points if I'm not mistaken. Of course the point system has been changed, but I doubt it's for P5, so we'll also have to see that later on. But of course, valuable points to have these done, as Liam House is now closing up. Well, not closing up, he's side to side with Adrian Kaiser. You wanna not hit each other there, as he's made that move stick. Nice and cleanly. These two Mercedes is not having the best of days, but they're still in the points, both of them. It's also decent enough, I'd say.
In terms of 5th place points for 5th place are they are 10. So we can be okay come the end of the race, but here we go. Battle for 5th once again, as there is a yellow flag inside. It's not going to work though. Luke is well aware of that one. Great racing between the pals, and now Tyler Davison and Thomas Main, as Tyler is lagging a slight bit here, trying to get the job done on Luke Davies side by side down the Retra Oposta in towards the left-hander of the Desida de Lago. They're still side by side for the final podium place. Davison goes off the circuit. Davies pushes him wide. Tyler not going to be happy about that one. There could be a lunge here in towards towards the right-hander coming up of turn number 8. Is he able to go for it here? He's going to send it down the inside. Goes the AlphaTauri. This side-by-side at the apex. So close here on the final lap of proceedings. Still accelerating out of the corner and trying to get the job done in towards the Bico. Zapato. Davison has got it done on Luke Davies. It's going to be a drag race towards the line, potentially rounding through the final couple of corners. The mighty Legend Rosenberg. He is back. Legend Rosenberg dominates in Interlagos and wins the Brazilian Grand Prix. The drag race for third is not much of a drag race. Main takes second, Davison takes third, Davies in fourth, Jurgensmeyer is in fifth position. Can Dulger, or apologies, these are having a drag race. Is Dulger able to take it over the American? Here he goes into the slipstream. Dulger to the inside of the arc. Weben Canis, and the Turkishman is going to take fifth here in Formula Virtual Racing. He gets the job done. Jack Redmond will come home in 7th, and then Liam Houseman. There was a spin on the last lap. Adrian and Avesta made contact. They've both gone spinning out of points contention right on the final lap here in FVR. That's awful unfortunate for the pair. Liam Houseman comes home 9th, and it was Rick the Bray. Then it'll be Borbjorn, Avesta Gobadi, Adrian Tishy, and Morris Stumer. Folks, I hope the lag wasn't too bad on the last lap, because I genuinely am balancing my whole laptop on my wrist.
Gotta have strong wrist for that one, and you've gotta have a strong heart for this race. That was an incredible race. In the end, Ricky driver today, as he's gained 10 positions, starting from the back of the grid and still getting it done. I believe it was from the back of the grid. Insane race, honestly. On the last lap, we missed something as well. We saw a spin of Jack Redmond there. He was in contention for possibly P6 or P5, but he lost it in the final sector there. Anyway,
it was your podium. It is Avesta Gobadi on top. No, it's not Avesta Gobadi on top. It's Legend Rosenberg on top. Sorry, I was reading a message about Avesta. Even fuming at the Dutchman. Yeah, it is Legend Rosenberg who wins once again in Formula Virtual Racing. 23 wins, the most of it. Well, here's your full race results, ladies and gentlemen. It is Legend Rosenberg who takes the full 23. Bump misses out narrowly. Then it was Jack Redmond, Tim Denhire, Liam Houseman, Rick the Bray, Bor Bune, Avesta Gobadi, Adrian Tishy, Morris Stewart, and then you're all finished. Ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, I do think that is all we do have time for. Kyle, was great to have you back. What was your thoughts on that race?
Oh, that was amazing. Even though with the rocky start, we still managed to have a great race, and we obviously enjoyed this one thoroughly. Legend taking the win as per expected, and per my little betting.
Sorry if you didn't hear that, folks. Safety Driver Award. Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to play the adverts before everything absolutely collapses. Thank you very much. We shall see you next time. Bye-bye. This program is brought to you by Simulus Clothing, official title sponsors of Formula Virtual Racing. But wait, there's more. Relax and enjoy the program.